Welcome to the One Shot Wonderarium. I am your host, Tony, and it is going to be a blast today. I've got Vin Vox here with me. Vin, would you mind introducing yourself just a little bit?
Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm Vin at VinVoxVA on all the socials except Blue Sky. That is VinVox.com. That is also my website. I'm a voice actor, tabletop performer, and, just a little guy.
Heck yeah.
That's new.
Hey, welcome to the Just a Little Guy crew.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you. We are playing Death of the Author today, which is by Sam Lee of Blinking Birch Games officially. But yes, and it is a game about characters finding or a character finding agency in their story. This is a solo / duet game, which is why it's Vin and myself today. It's gonna be great. And the character is fighting for agency in their own story against the wishes of the author. We talked about this a little bit ahead of time. We selected a genre and who's going to be character, excuse me, and who's going to be author. I will be taking on the role of the character, and Vin will be our author. And our genre, we actually spun on a wheel and sort of got this. It was a horror mockumentary. So, I hope you're ready for the insanity that that's going to bring, because I know that I am not.
You're in the perfect seat for it.
Right? This is so great that Vin has taken on the author role here. So the way this game is sort of the prompts in this game work, because it is a prompt reading game, is Vin has a tarot deck over there. And to create characters, we're going to draw some major arcana. And we'll create my character, a friend of my character, a foe of my character, and then Vin will do an author's note to get us started on the story. Then we'll deal out some minor arcana and start setting scenes. Each tarot card is going to have its own prompt based on where it's at in the chapters. We are we're actually going to do all 5 chapters, because the 5th chapter is very, very quick. It looks like. So hopefully that's our goal, at least. So let's go ahead and get some major arcana dealt out.
Yo, yeah. I'm not going to count the 2 that just jumped out at me.
But they're so
this deck is
eager.
honorary. Yeah, clearly.
You don't want jump
so we're just
scares
hitting
in this?
3? No. Listen. That's for me to write and not for these beanie babies. Alrighty. You want to go left or right? Right, left? Yeah. Alright. I'm just going to go right. The first card we have is the world.
Oh. Is that the world reversed?
It was reversed. I don't think that changes the character.
I think it's supposed to.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think reversed cards are the inverse.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that does make sense. Okay.
So the world is like harmony and togetherness usually, right? I'm not super familiar with tarot in general. So this is a bit of a learning aspect for me.
Same here, and I'm the one that has them. All
So,
right, I'm going through my little booklet.
oh yeah, you've got a little booklet. We love the little booklet.
Okay. Reverse. The world indicates people who stop learning with age, digging in one's heels, stuck with a point of view that doesn't serve, an inability to use lessons learned in the past, closing one's mind to the infinity and humanity and beyond, and what we have to learn from the vast expanse. So, somebody who's stubborn, clearly.
Am I
Uh,
playing a crotchety old grandpa? Is that who I'm playing right now?
I mean, if that's how you interpret it,
I stopped learning
you
with
could be a
age.
Joe Smo who just given up on everything. Like
Could
they've
be.
learned everything they want to learn and just be complacent.
I kind of love the idea of a horror mockumentary that is centered around like an elderly protagonist.
Mhm.
That that is just the right level of absurd to me.
I don't
What
want to
is your
call
thought?
people murder bait, but like that's
Right.
it's the perfect crime. The perfect crime could be the title of the book.
I love it. Okay. Uh, now I need a name for this person. So let's see. We need
Mr. Worldwide. Duh.
Mr. Worldwide. I'm gonna stick with it.
No. Dale, but keep going.
I was gonna change the first name. Gonna call him Miles Worldwide.
No.
No,
I mean-
okay. All right, too much. We got too self-aware there. All right, let's go ahead and bring up. This is probably going to be helpful as we're creating characters here. I'm actually going to just pull up a name generator, and we're just going to pull from this list.
Yeah.
Sure, I don't mind that it's British. Whatever. Give me 20 names. Write me some names. Dexter's interesting. Elias has a good. Herbert. Warren.
Oof.
Which one was the oof? Just for my notes here.
Oh, it was for Herbert, but I do like Elias.
There's a Ralph. There's Stanley. I do feel like that gives a little bit of Uncle Stan vibes. So I don't know that I want to go Stanley. One is just one of the names that it pitched out to me was Liberty. We're not doing that one, but that would be hilarious. You know what? Let's just join them. It's Elias Herbert,
All right.
right?
That's the good old man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
Mr. Herbert.
Uh-huh. Insists on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for our friend, what is our second major arcana?
Let's see.
And this friend can
The
be
Fool.
a lover. Oh.
That's his grandkid. Come on. That's beautiful, actually.
Can you give me a full description? I assume it's, pretty self-explanatory.
It's your protagonist. It's the beginning, but I will go to it. Let's see. I should be able to find 0, right?
I would guess.
I'm just going to go to the last paragraph. One of the greatest lessons the Fool can teach us is the importance of acknowledging when we are ourselves at this stage. The admission of ignorance can bring needed caution to a new journey. With the Fool, we can accept the joy of newness and remember to keep caution in our back pockets.
Okay.
So the grandchild could know there's like something odd going on, or like a little bit more keen on the world.
All right,
Pun
all right.
unintended.
Yeah. I like this. Create new names. Do we want this to be a grandson, a granddaughter, non-binary,
A grand they.
gender fluid somewhere in there, right? We could, in fact, we could go any which way we want with it.
I think the name will tell us.
Okay, I'm just gonna search up baby names then. It makes stop making me pick a gender. It's not quick name.
All of them
Okay.
at the same time.
Here's random names. Yasir Edwards, Emmy Hahn. Emmy is it says Fiona Norman, Lily Johnson, Kabir Hawkins, Mina O'Gallagher, Maya Blanchard, Russell Glenn, Bailey Callahan, Catherine Leach.
Gosh.
Any of
I
those
do like
stand out to
Bailey.
you? Bailey?
Bailey, Emmy, Russell sounded good. Bailey Russells?
Bailey Russells could be good. I was gonna say I would nix Russell as a first name, because we are flirting with up territory here, and I think Russell is that the name of the dog?
Oh,
or the boy
I didn't. Yeah,
Up?
yeah. The boy's name is Russell.
That's-
That's crazy. Then
so Bailey Russell.
I mean, we can
What do you
ditch
like?
Russell. Bailey. What was the other surnames?
Edwards, Hahn, Norman, Johnson, Hawkins, O'Gallagher, Blanchard, Glenn, Callahan, and Leach. We can also take the easy way out and Herbert.
Yeah, you're right. Bailey Herbert.
Do you like Bailey Herbert?
Yeah.
It's got a surprisingly
They have to
good
deal
ring
with
to
it.
Yeah. The grandchild. Okay. All right, and then our foe.
All right. Let's see our foe. Justice. Which is ironic given the situation we've built.
Absolutely, it is.
All right, I'm heading towards the. That's so silly, goofy. Consider your reaction to the phrase "justice will be served." Will it? Think about how you feel about the veracity of what that phrase and how it may differ from the way others do. If you were in a different position, how would you feel that justice was served? Jeez, I just picked a paragraph from that. Like, that's so funny.
So, for this foe, I'm trying to figure out what that means for a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Is it somebody Elias has wronged in the past? Go ahead.
I did type in justice upright. It's balance and equilibrium, fairness, responsibility, cause and effect, and of course justice. I think balance and equilibrium. I have a theory or an idea. Maybe the foe isn't necessarily the killer, but the foe is the camera people, the studio. They're letting this happen. Whoever is filming this mockumentary.
I have one more change to this.
Okay.
Because it does not actually specify protagonist.
Oh my god. Well, you're right. Well, the protagonist doesn't necessarily mean hero, but I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, it doesn't specify hero here.
Yeah. Oh,
it is
Mr. Herbert a bad man?
It's a bad man.
Is he a bad man? What did he do? Did he not pay his taxes?
Just for the HOA. Just.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's so silly, goofy.
Is it the right
All
kind
right,
of
am I
silly
safe to?
goofy?
Yeah, I think so, because it's gonna be hilarious. Am I safe to put these back in the uh Arcana stack?
Yeah.
All
The
right.
question I
Cool.
have while we're doing that is, what does justice mean in this scenario? Like, justice. This is a person in this story.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go with the HOA line where this is the HOA president type scenario? Do we go with, um, like,
Yeah, I think we can stew on this for a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The balance is interesting because I think the balance of someone who stops learning with age is honestly the fool, which is kind of interesting,
mm-hmm.
right? Like newness and ignorance. Um, Maybe not as much ignorance in that, but somebody
One
who's
learning and one not.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, what could be
I also see
interesting?
truth for justice. So
How?
maybe there's something that's being hidden and uncovered.
Ooh, that's interesting. So I was
Or
gonna go a different direction, and
okay.
I would still like to pitch this idea, but I really like where you're at. Um, because people who stop learning with age, the inverse of that could be people who start teaching with age. Um, right? It could
Ooh,
be a
yeah.
sort of school teacher, principal type figure, or somebody, some sort of instructor that could
Mm-hmm.
be interesting there. Um,
Someone inflexible in a place of power.
I think Elias is the inflexible one here. So
Yeah, of course.
I'm looking at a balance as a foil to Elias here. That's how I'm sort of thinking about that.
Okay. Yeah.
And that may not be the right way to do it for the record. This is just what I'm using
No,
to
no, no. I think
understand this.
that's cool. Hmm. But now I'm trying to think where I think we can go with the whole HOA bit. Uh,
You know,
I can't really.
I
Hmm.
do believe mockumentaries especially are very funny when they take a small thing and make it a really big thing.
Yeah.
Um so it could be something as the case of the missing flamingos or something, right? Like where there is some sort of a theft or a something that is going. I don't know. I'm
Hmm. I think that's fun though. Like we can just take that and just go because it can be like the property lines are off, unpaid balances, the grass. Maybe there is a yard display that is just a little too much, and everybody's just being very like stubborn about it.
petty about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is fun. Um, what if we bend the rules just a little bit and say that instead of
Mm-hmm.
this foe being a person, it's the entire HOA board. It is a
Yeah.
group of people. I think that could be fun. Okay. Uh, and I don't think we have to name all these people now. I think
Oh no, we can just say
this
like a colloquial, just the board.
yeah,
Like you
and
don't
if
have
we
to
want to
go
single
down
people
and
out, we can just create names on the fly, right? Maurice
yeah.
pipes up and says, or
Da 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 da.
pick name. Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, what's more terrifying than bureaucracy?
Very little. Very little. Um, I love it. Okay. So that is our main cast of characters here. So, now we'll do an author's note, right?
Mhm.
So, let's see. This is a major arcana to determine the nature of this message. And you're cut loose. So,
All right. This is a message that I'm giving to Elias.
To, yeah, I guess to Elias or to any reader, right?
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, this is the
I got the
forward.
fool again.
Interesting. Let's draw another. I don't know if you're supposed to actually shuffle them.
Those should
I
have been
guess you
out.
are.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see what I get this time. The Lovers.
Interesting.
Very fun. Not terrifying at all.
Not at all.
All right, let's see. The Lovers is about consuming intensity of newly learned intimacy of knowing another and being known, and the overwhelming feelings that accompany that. Sometimes it is romantic, and sometimes it is simply finding another whom we are on the same frequency. Now, how can we make a little note about lovers in this terrifying tale we're about to begin? I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just
I
going
was
to say
just gonna make it a simple like.
Not
No,
it.
you. Dang it. Just follow your heart, whatever your passions may be. Like some little frivolous. Oh, you can be like me. You can write too. This is a work of passion in itself. It is a love of story.
I actually surprisingly love that in this game of agency, saying follow your passion. Don't always follow the story. So, we're going to start the prologue here, which is 3 cards from the deck of Pentacles, placing them face down. I have 1 reversal and 1 defiance. So while these are being drawn out, I'm going to double cover not double cover. I'm going to talk about what reversal and defiance are in this scenario. For those of us that don't know, so a reversal means that we flip the card. So we do the inverse effectively. Now these all have prompts, so the inverse is actually specified for us. Defiance is you take the prompt and a part of it is underlined. I can replace the underlined section with whatever I want. So, for an example, if the card's upright says a near-death experience leaves you with and this is part's underlined, a false feeling of invincibility. Reversed is that a near-death experience leaves you with a new fear. Defiance allows me to replace that false feeling of invincibility with anything. A near-death experience leaves me with a plethora of clown makeup. I don't know. Pick what you like, right?
Yeah.
A fresh scar, a helpful skill are actually things proffered by the author here of the game. I thought extra clown makeup was more entertaining, so that's what I went with. But you know, so those are tools that I have as the character to wrestle back control from the author. So,
and I think like with every use of a reversal or the other word that escapes me, don't I pull from the major arcana, or like I get to react to that or take notice of it?
I don't remember.
Or maybe that was part of the solo rules.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yes. So yeah, it says if I do a reversal or defiance, you draw a major arcana to determine how you respond.
Gotcha.
Yep, absolutely right. So, we have cards drawn from Pentacles, right? So let's find out what our first scene in the prologue is here.
Gotcha. You want to go left to right or right to left? Or you can just pick which one, like
Let's go center.
left, middle,
Right
right.
down the middle.
Okay, it's center. That is the 10 of Pentacles upright.
The 10 of Pentacles upright. Someone takes advantage of your naivete. This is a great villain origin story already.
Oh, goodness. So maybe it was a bad deal from the board, like to begin what kicks us all off, why it's already so strict? Or
I think
do you want to keep that prompt?
so. Yes, I would like to keep that prompt. Here's what I would pitch. Because this is an old guy, he was on the outskirts of town, and all of his neighbors sold their property, and it became like a subdivision around him.
Gotcha.
And I think he was sort of forced into this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We are, of course, moving quick through this and not role-playing a ton here, just because of how many prompts we're gonna want to cover here. So just FYI for the viewers here, we'll be a little light on roleplay tonight, today, whenever this is happening. It's fine. Everything's
Time
fine.
zone.
Yes. So I think there's probably you see Elias like proudly standing in a lawn, like throwing like a ball with a small child, and then there's like a motion, and the child maybe starts growing up, and like construction starts happening around the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of all the other properties, and the house is mostly unchanged, but the neighborhood is completely different.
I love that. And it's just from like playing to just arms crossed and crotchety throughout the entire ordeal.
Absolutely. You see like a Halloween thing, and he's like throwing an apple at the kids. Because he does, like, he's not springing for candy. He's got an apple tree in the backyard or something, and so he's like got a bowl of apples and just like doesn't want the kids on his lawn, so he's just chucking apples. So.
Do you think that started like the first infraction, like a kid got hit with the apple, or like they lost a tooth in it or something?
Oh, I like that idea. I want to hold on to that.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. We got a lot of prompts in front of us. I don't want to make too many decisions too early. But I think that could be an early problem.
Gotcha. All right, you got 2 more directions. If we're solid with this first prompt.
Absolutely.
All right.
Left.
All right. The 4 of Pentacles. Good golly. I love...
That's beautiful. A natural disaster changes your home forever. I'm going to reverse this.
Okay.
Wait, no. Do I want to reverse?
Oh, I was about to say, like, wow.
I have a bit on... Yes, actually, yes. I'm going to reverse this. And here's what's going on. It's not actually war. This is like... I don't know if it's a paintball fight or if it's like... Right? This is fake war. Is what I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out if that's maybe better served by a defiance.
I like the reversal because it could say, "Hey, paintball. Of course, that's going to change your home." Actual war. I don't know if you want gang violence. This poor man. Bullet holes or something.
I think I'm actually going to switch that to a defiance. I think that's a defiance, so I'm going to change the words there.
Okay.
So blank changes your home forever. And I think it feels too easy to say a tragedy, right? So I don't want to quite go that. This is what I think. I think
Okay.
I want to say a loss, and I'm going to specify it is the loss of his kid moving out. So his son leaves the home and strikes out on their own. And we see like a classically loaded up car with all sorts of stuff like roped to the top of the car as they're moving out.
Not to specify, this is the Elias's son and not the grandkid.
Correct.
Leaving. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, the grandkid in this part of the story I don't think exists yet. So, because this is the prologue, right? This is, at least that's my pitch. Yeah, I think we see, and there's a moment as Elias is staring out, watching his son pull out of the driveway in the like overloaded sedan. Where there's sort of a shake of the head of awareness. And meanwhile, there's like some narration going on. Because we are mockumentary here. So I want to bring back maybe a little bit of that tone of the greatest loss in Elias's life was one of love. Right? It's something like that, right?
Yeah, with that kind of shaky camera zooming in on his face and kind of like cornering off to his fist clenched at his side.
Absolutely. I could not have said it better myself. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. If you're good with that, then we'll go to our third and final prompt here.
Hello. All right, let's go. That is the 7. My arm of pentacles.
7 of Pentacles. You are at your parents' side when they die. Actually, how does the author respond to that previous prompt? We'll need a major arcana pull before we do this, actually.
Yeah, I'm just going to take one right at the top.
Yeah.
The Tower.
Ooh.
That's easy. Just the fact that it's like it happened. Why are my words different? What is happening? Like the shatter of the narrative itself.
This
with
is the
one
first change in
change.
the story. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I think if you're okay with this, I think that part of that is shown in the actual like background of the film, where like it's not the narrator's voice, but someone has left audio on in it. That's like what? But that wasn't. Did that really happen? Like you get this sort of questioning, like confusion. Okay. So you're at your parents' side when they die, or if I reverse it, you're at your siblings' side when they die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know on this one.
Now, I will say or ask, do you get a reversal or defiance for every scene or one per chapter?
I thought it was one of each per chapter.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. Let me double
Not to go,
check
well,
here.
actually.
No. Let's see. Each chapter you have one reversal and one defiance. So
That's crazy though. Like I love the idea of like how terrifying that can be.
I think this one I'm just gonna let it play. Um, I don't have a ton of great ideas for this. I think it's probably shortly after the sun leaves. Um, you're starting to see the gray hairs um, form on Elias's head. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you have thoughts or an angle here?
I do. I feel like it's a retaliation, like from the author. Like that was weird.
Oh, there it
Let's have
is.
something stick.
Oh, that's
Like
Oh, okay, yeah.
tee.
Um, all right. Yeah. So Elias, we'll find it's some sort of accident. Um, but we're gonna get B-roll that it wasn't an accident, right? Like you get some sort of camera crew member that like kicks a leg of a ladder out on or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
ho ho ho. Oh yeah. Um, though there's almost a part of me that wants to go back and change the foe to the mockumentary crew, but we've stuck it with the HOA crew, because I think that's more accurate for the author's story. I think that was the intent.
Yeah.
So let's stick with that. But I was just thinking about this, how the opposition is almost changed there. Um, okay. So, um, chapter 2. Let me just double check that.
Yeah, I think it's time for the author's note.
I think it is as well, right? Yeah. So you discard the minor arcana
Mm-hmm.
cards. Okay.
They're on
Great.
the other side of the desk.
Perfect. Um, yeah. Message from the author.
All right. I got the tower again. Let me try that some other way.
That can be absolutely. I'm okay with that. It also does say shuffle them back in for major arcana.
Yeah.
So I think
Now if I got it again, I would play with it, but let's see what I get this time. The Magician.
Interesting. What does the magician mean?
Let's see. I know it's a funny one. Potential made fire, using one's resources and inner strengths to their greatest extent. The intensity and magic of creation. The magician is depicted in the fiery act of creation, many armed and multifaceted. A symbol of the ultimate state of passion and possibility. They draw strength from all elements in their purpose. I think that can be the writer feeling invigorated or like finding that spark of energy to keep going because there's something clearly going on, and that could be the magic itself.
I
Like,
I think there's a lot to be said here for creation itself and the act of writing and being an author being an act of creation. Absolutely, yeah, that ties in super well. Okay. And one of the things we are supposed to say at the end of each prologue is, what part of themselves did the author show you?
Ooh.
And I think the author
Um.
shows a little bit of like almost viciousness.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard things in the very beginning.
Okay. We used a defiance, but not a reversal. Message from the author. This was the magician. I realized I wasn't taking notes at all for. But yeah, what does that message look like? Is it just visuals?
I think Elias gets either a note from the production crew or from the HOA. And it's very cryptic, or just like it says, "I enjoy your spark."
Oh. All right. You enjoy the spark. That's got some interesting depth to it. Okay. So, we're going to draw 3 more, this time from the deck of swords.
And while I'm shuffling, I'm going to ask, oh, how does this change your perception of the author? I imagine that's like, how does the character feel about that message? I'll get these 3 out.
I think the character the first thing they feel is rage. The first thing that Elias feels is fury. But then it's more. There's almost a level of not respect, but like an acknowledgement. I think. Right? Like when you meet somebody and you go, "Oh, okay, this is the heat." Right? Like that's, I think, part of what's going on here. Is I think Elias's eyes have been widened to this.
Oh my god, like his world's been flipped upside down.
Turned upside down. Absolutely. Let's see.
All right, I got our swords. You can take your pick.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the right side this time.
To the right. Take it back now, y'all.
One hop this time.
3 of swords.
Okay.
That heart is crazy.
3 of that. Yikes. That's dope as hell. A rumor spreads about your family. Yup.
Oh no.
Okay. Interesting. A rumor spreads about your past is the reversal here, which I kind of like. I think I'm going to stick with a rumor spreads about your family.
So, not to put anything in the air or like,
Put
mega
things
crazy.
in the air, friend.
I think the HOA starts a rumor that there was like there's bodies in under the house. Like there's a reason why Mr. Herbert didn't sell because there's a secret he's trying to keep.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Because it's the HOA, can I change that slightly?
Oh yeah, this is a conversation.
Because I love where you're at, but I want to make it a little bit more homeowners association, right?
Gotcha.
That the reason why Elias's grass is never mowed properly is because of the dead bodies fertilizing the lawn. Yeah. And I think you see in this moment, you'll see like, if you've ever seen like a lawn with certain patches that there's something going on there, we're like, oh, why is there a shape that the grass in that shape grows much better than the rest
Why
of
is
the
that grass greener? Yeah. Why is that a little bit healthier than the rest?
There's a couple of like almost rectangular, like tube shaped like spots in the yard where the grass grows especially tall.
Now, is it like green and verdant during like the fall and winter months? Or is it just a little bit better during the springtime or summer? Like how telling is this rumor?
I think that it is definitely more verdant in the summer.
Okay.
But I don't think I think everything else dies. I think it stays slightly green.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's not like it's full grown jungle in the winter. But I think most of the grass,
it's suspicious.
all the yards around have kind of died, and there's these like green spots in this yard. And I think there is like we get a shot of like teenagers on the street outside, each like sort of passing around a shovel. Like, no, you go. No, you go dig it up. And there is like Elias stomps out on the front porch, shouting. And you see the shovel gets left in the middle of the road. It gets dropped. You hear that clang. And lights on porches around the neighborhood start to light up. And the next day, you see an HOA notice slapped in the mailbox.
And loitering.
Absolutely. Okay.
I meant littering. Oh my god.
Oh, that makes
Either
more
way,
sense. Yes, littering.
Slap on the wrist.
I thought loitering was funny because it was so absurd.
Yeah.
Blatant abuse of power. You've been loitering in your own home. Like,
that's, you know what? Maybe I should have just let it be and hung in the air. That is so silly. Oh my gosh.
I love it. I don't remember whether I
both.
did left or right, by the way. But I want whatever.
You did right.
So we'll go left then.
All right. 5. Pain in the back.
Okay.
Then
You are
the 2 on the ground.
startled awake by a recurring nightmare. Or if I reverse it, you are startled awake by a strange noise. Oh. A reversal feels right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. Startled awake by a strange noise. Okay. So I think that uh, I don't quite have a solid idea here. Do you have something that immediately comes to mind? If not, I can keep sort of spitballing, but I'm sort of.
It's the boar planting evidence or snooping around his yard.
Oh yes. Okay. 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 Um. Yeah, I think there's Oh my god. Okay, I love this. All right. So there is the noise, a yelp of an animal. Um, and Elias gets up to look out in the backyard where this yelp is heard, and you can see the beam of a flashlight. And as Elias arms himself with whatever is nearby, I think it's like a broom or something. It's nothing lethal, but it looks lethal in his hands. Um, and he comes out, and it is one of the HOA board members, and they're like basset hound with the long ears. And in the dark, like the basset hound had gotten underfoot, which is where that like yelp came from.
That's perfect.
And you can see this person takes off running. Basset hound's legs going as fast as they can, right? And the documentary crew is running with them, so you get the shaky running cam, you know. So that brings us to our final prompt of this chapter.
Yeah, but first, an author's note.
Oh yes,
Since that was
we do get an author reaction. Yes.
The Lovers again.
The Lovers.
Um,
Interesting.
and I think I am just gonna take this straight on and just being like, okay, well played. I like what you did there. Some might say I love it. Some might disagree. We'll save the suspense for later. In the form of a text message.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And it pings as he's settling back down to bed.
It's on a jitterbug.
Absolutely it is. It's like a gargantuan
bold ass letters.
Military grade type. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes 10 minutes to type out a text message. Yeah.
And then last but not least, the Four of Swords.
The Four of Swords. Okay.
3, 4, 5. That is
We
so
did.
fun.
We did,
In
yeah.
that order.
You find yourself in possession of dangerous information. That's great. There's a part of me that wants to modify this,
You don't have to.
but I don't have to, and I love it.
Now, do you think he finds out about the documentary crew? Or finds out about conspiracy from the HOA?
Even better.
Okay.
I'm taking this one very liberally. The dangerous information is the news of his grandson's or grandchild's birth.
Okay. Was he not supposed to know?
I think could be. I think he was sleuthing about and found something he shouldn't have found, right? But I also think narratively, right? story-wise, this is pictured as like he's now gotten an ally. Like there is
Yeah.
you know a second in command is coming type scenario.
Yeah. I think maybe just throwing out, you can just throw this out if you don't like it. It was a plot point that he wasn't supposed to know yet.
Yes, that yeah, there it is.
I love this. This is crazy. I guess I'll take my final note, and then
Real quick,
Elias can interpret that. Go ahead.
I think in that, I do think Elias looks at the camera crew.
Oh,
I'm on to you.
we hit the horror.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I hate that. Let's see. The Hierophant. Now, I have a vague idea of what that means, but I'm just going to go read from this in general.
I have no idea what that means. So
it's like wisdom.
Okay.
Actually, listen to this. This Hierophant is not welcoming. It is meant to be watched with attention as prey would watch a predator. The mask is hypnotic, but reveals intentions not overly stated. It extends hands of blessing and knowledge, but we do let its hands touch our own. Does knowledge contained in the book strengthen or bind us? And I think
not have drawn a more perfect moment for that card.
Right. Especially after that last prompt. Terrifying. And I think since this happened at night, the author is manifest in his dreams. You think you know everything, don't you? We're only at chapter 1. How does he feel about that with his bran flakes and orange juice?
He hates it. He hates it. Absolutely cannot get it out of his mind. He just stews on it. Like, literally, you see like a shot of him mowing the lawn, and if you could read his mouth, he's like babbling about it to himself. Just they think they can come into the dreams like some sort of fancy pants, right? Like you know, just absolutely every little thing. And the haircut was stupid too, you know, like, right? Like just every little possible petty freaking thing. Elias is not above it at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now we have the rising action. Though I feel like the action is already rising.
Yeah, oh. I think we're there. The action has risen. It's giving conflict. Jeez Louise.
Oh, God. All right.
We really ramped it up over here.
We turned up the heat in one. Like,
yeah.
Nothing was gradual there.
Just immediate. All right. The 3 are down.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's do right.
Okay. Oh, there's different questions. Okay, for this one is, What does the author foreshadow about the end of your story at the end
Oh
of this one?
yes. Oh yeah. What were we supposed to learn from the last one? How does this change your perception
Um,
of the author? We are
yeah.
enemies. We are
Oh
absolutely
man, darn.
never going to be friends. We cannot see eye to eye. And
Mm-hmm.
if I ever see the author in person, the author will not leave without bruises.
Uh, okay, coming back to where we are supposed to be. We got
Yes.
the 10 of Cups.
The 10 of
Really
clubs.
pretty.
Someone sees through your bravado.
Oh,
Yikes.
snap.
It's fine.
You know what? You know who that could be?
Who?
It could be Bailey. It could be the grandchild.
It could be. I
Could
do
be.
think that's interesting. Especially with the sort of like ignorance and truth and naivete like that is in the Fool's card.
And having that revelation early. Like, I imagine this is non-linear. This could be a few years in the future, or it could be like,
I think it's
Some-
very young for this kid, but absolutely.
Yeah.
5, 6. I think we're talking.
oh, baby. Yeah, try to hurt me now. Here's your grandkid.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Yeah. I think the kid looks up at Elias because I think Elias knows something is going on. And between the HOA and the author, I think Elias doesn't let his guard down. Like, just refuses. Has locked into always on alert mode. And I think Bailey hits him with a... What are you... Grandpa? What are you so afraid of? Because it is truly...
Grandpa, why are you scared?
Because it is truly fear and not anger that he's dealing with.
Gotcha. Oh, that's so good. Oof. Oh, chills. We really said horror mockumentary, huh?
We did. I don't know that we're holding to that genre at all. It's almost
I
like
think we got the horror down.
we got the horror. You know, that was our original role, by the way, was actually horror.
We hit horror twice.
I think it might have just been to be. Do we just give up on the mockumentary aspect of it and just go for horror?
I feel like we can still catalog his life in
Okay.
that regard and like having a moment with the grandkid and everything.
Yeah.
But is in terms of substantial horror
Yeah. Yeah.
mockumentary. Okay, you got your left and your center.
Let's go center.
All right. This is the Queen of Cups reverse.
Ooh, we haven't had a reversed in a while. You are mistaken for your foe. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong. That's the wrong one.
No. Yeah.
I read the Queen of Swords. You learn something of your foe's history that horrifies you. Woo-hoo!
Hey, you want to know something? I know this is your prompt and everything, but here's something to consider.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the first time that they've done this. Whoever we consider the foe, either the board or the camera crew, this is not the first instance, and Elias is not the first victim of this story.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 No. Okay, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. The reason why everybody sold in the first place was blackmail.
The music came in. She served just now. That was terrifying, that violin slide. Oh my goodness.
But it was blackmail. It was blackmail.
Yes, it's been blackmailed the entire time.
Yeah. What kind of blackmail? That's the question.
You know what? I think if with the way property value is, I think they use any dirty trick they could in the book. Like if you had a secret, it was going to be exploited. And it doesn't have to be true because remember the rumors. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what the HOA person was doing, trying to plant. What if they put the bodies in the yard?
It's all coming together now.
It's all coming together, baby.
We're cooking now.
We're cooking with gas. Ooh.
I have to. So,
oh my goodness.
Note, my stepdad is from Oklahoma, and I have to hold myself back from saying we're cooking with possum fat because that is something he always used to say. And
I love that though.
We're cooking. And so
I've never heard that.
I never heard it before him either. I assume it's a fully Oklahoman thing. It might just be a him thing.
Yeah.
Oh
my god, we're cooking with possum fat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, love that man so much. But
thanks, Papa Edit.
Right. So, yeah, I think the HOA blackmailed. I think it's HOA blackmailed all of the other homeowners into selling.
Mm-hmm. That's terrifying.
Absolutely, it is.
All right, are you ready for the last card?
No, but fine. Draw it anyway.
All right. The 8 of Cups reversed.
8 of Cups reversed.
Negative cups.
You are abandoned after a reckless decision. I could reverse it to say that I'm cornered after a reckless decision, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could defy it. I think that this is rising action. I think it would be interesting to do a defiance here.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to say you are bolstered after a reckless decision. Because I think each side is sort of digging in as this rising action happens, and sort of it's the arms race before the war. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I like the idea of Elias's position getting strengthened. Reversed. Here's the prompt. Not the right thing. Prompt, you are bolstered after reckless decision. So I think whatever blackmail is going on that Elias finds out, I think he turns it around.
Okay.
I think there is a reckless decision, whether it is finding a body or finding drugs or whatever, like whatever thing that gets planted or done to him, he turns it around on somebody. And it goes
He gets a
well.
ring light.
Yeah. Starts that content creation life. Hey, you what up? It's Elias. E Gramps. I got nothing for that. I'm gonna.
I got something.
But yeah,
It's an author's note,
oh,
and I think it's super funny. It's ooh, I was too excited to fling it out. Bam! Temperance reversed.
temperance reversed.
Which I'm pretty sure is just going to be the opposite of temperance.
Would make sense.
All right. Losing yourself through to a dedication of balance, trying to achieve normalcy when the definition of such is not feasible or does not serve you. Think, who is asking for you to give? Who sets the scale? Who has their finger on it? Have you pouted out your reserves? Have you poured out your reserves at once? And I think it is just flying off the handle. So far, the author has been very cool and collected and almost playful in these revisions, not made by them. And I think it's less of a message and more of a rewritten scene. There is some place in Elias's house just utterly destroyed, just ruined.
Interesting. Temperance reversed. Here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It is the room that Bailey usually stays in.
Oh man. Yeah, that is dangerous.
Yeah.
Mm. And then I have one more now. This is like the end of the chapter. And of course the question: what does the author foreshadow about the end of the story? This blitzed on by, but I'm having a great time.
Right?
I love this card. It's just really pretty to look at, but it's also reversed. The Hangman.
Okay. All right. It is also
so
very
silly
pretty.
goofy.
Is it the hangman or the hanged man?
The Hanged Man.
Okay.
The Hangman reverse can suggest procrastination to no end, prolonging of the just 5 more minutes. It may be tempting to stay under that quiet water amongst the leaves, but eventually you must write yourself back into something new. And I think what it was is that that embarrassment, that infuriating scratching out and ruining just kind of put them in a state of writer's block. And it's just a simple, like a piece of paper found under something, or when Elias is cleaning up Bailey's main room. It's not over yet. Little heart. Now, what does that foreshadow about the end of the story?
I think that it foreshadows. It does foreshadow probably some relentlessness here. But I don't know. I about the end of the story, I'm not sure.
That's fine.
That's do you have thoughts about what it foreshadows?
I think that's a great idea. Uh, this is the card is like a moment of inaction in like kind of being sluggish in that regard. Um, but also uh a symbol to like get back on the horse, so to speak.
I think it to put it more succinctly, because I think you're right on this. I think it foreshadows that inaction is death, whatever form that
There
takes.
we go. Mm-hmm. Oh no, there's only one more stack of minor arcana.
Yup. We are so
All
very
right.
close.
Uh, After 3 scenes, the author leaves you a message. Draw major arcana. We already know that. What does this message convey? What is your author holding back even now?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Go ahead and take the lead on that if you can, or if you want.
Oh, that's towards the end when we have to do the
That's the next
author's
one.
note. So we're good. Yeah,
Okay, sorry. I thought
I am gonna put
I'm
down.
so used to us missing these, so I thought it was.
Yeah,
what we
right. That's
did.
why I like made it the the sticking point first.
Okay.
All right, I got our 3, and now all my minor arcana back together.
Oh, I forget. I need to pick, don't I?
Yeah.
We're gonna start we're gonna end how we started, with the center first.
All right. The 10 of Wands.
The 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands reads, "You realize your goal is unattainable."
Darn, that's crazy.
If I reverse it, it says you realize a compromise is unattainable. I kind
That one's
of
also good.
really like that. So I'm going to reverse it.
Hella.
A compromise is
Also-
unattainable. Yes.
I hate to pause, but it's okay if I take a quick bio.
Yeah, give me 1 second here, y'all. We will be right back with the second half of the show. Welcome back to the One Shot Wonderarium. For our second half, we are starting Chapter 4. I believe we had just drawn our Minor Arcana, which I've already forgotten. So it's a good refresher for me, too.
Yeah.
The 10 of Wands.
10 of Swords.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, Wands.
Okay. I was like,
It's pointy.
I just assumed I had it wrong. And I used a reversal on it. Because the 10 of Wands originally says you realize your goal is unattainable. And I'm changing it to say a compromise is unattainable. So, I think that in that this coverage becomes invasive. Of like a camera crew is literally like right here on his face when Elias wakes up one morning.
Oof.
And I think he destroys a camera. And we see him throwing bits of it out of the upper window of the house. So there is just pieces of plastic and metal and glass scattered about his lawn with weird green patches.
And of course, there's a commotion. Oh, yeah, I get to react and feel things about it.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Let's go. Let's see what I got this time.
Everything's fine.
This crotchety old fuck. Who wrote this? Oh my god, who wrote this?
Who wrote this guy? What an asshole.
Get a hard cut of the author like scrolling through their document, like, who wrote this? You wanna know what's funny? You wanna know what I pulled?
What did you pull? Was it the tower?
The world reversed.
The world reversed. Oh, that is freaking great.
That's crazy.
For those of you who haven't been here since the beginning, the world reversed is the card that created Elias. Wow.
Yeah. And that's so silly with the prompt itself. That the compromise is inflexible. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's the same vibe. Yeah, unattainable, inflexible. Same thing. They're two rigid parties. And I think I think this is silly. I'm just gonna say maybe it's a fancy little lunch, or not a fancy little lunch. It's takeout. He breaks open a fortune cookie, and the little fortune reads, "You don't get the end you deserve."
Ooh. That's ambiguous. That's ambiguous. I don't know if that's good or bad. And I think that's the scary part. Wow. Okay. So left. The only way to finish is to keep going, I guess. I have no idea how to process that.
Look at this. Wand. 5 of Wands in reverse.
Yikes.
It's a lot going on.
Somebody's going to need an emergency room. You said a 5?
Yes, 5 reverse.
5 reversed. A failure makes you realize your ideals are holding you back. Okay.
And you have a defiance left
I have a
if you want to use
defiance
it on this
left.
card and the last one.
I don't know that I want to use it on this card. This card is so juicy, though. This card is so juicy. A failure makes you realize your ideals are holding you back.
Yeah.
This is something that's interesting. I don't know 100%. We haven't really addressed Elias's ideals.
I mean,
General
we've
vibes.
I was just going to say, I think we have just within his actions, the fact that he
True.
is stalwart in some way with either his family or his own beliefs or like his property. Because he hasn't given in to the HOA yet. He's clearly sentimental about the people he loves by how upset he was when his son left or his child, and the reason that the grandchild is here. So there's
Yeah.
some good here.
You are absolutely right. God, okay. He tries to take on this problem like he has taken on all of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Chin up and straightforwardly. And it does not work. I think he gets, for a short amount of time, arrested in
Gotcha.
his fight against the HOA here. I think there's probably like a trespassing, like we're talking minor charges, trespassing and like destruction of property, right?
Yeah.
He broke through a fence.
Or mischief or something.
Yeah, something like that, right? And I think he is locked up for a few days. And he realizes to defeat the author and the HOA, he has to do something different. Our final scene card.
Oh boy, oh joy.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. The Six of Wands. Upright. That one's also
A
kind of funny.
confrontation ends with a confession. This is probably a perfect time to use the defiance.
Hey!
Because if I use the defiance, this prompt becomes a confrontation ends with a blank.
Oh, yeah.
The world is my oyster with that prompt.
It is. And I want you to take the oyster. Give me a pearl, baby.
Yeah, we're going to do that defiance. We're absolutely doing that defiance. A confrontation ends with what? That's the question. It ends with I it ends with a new generation.
Ooh. Okay. See, I thought you were going to say victory. I was like, a win or something, but a new generation.
I like this a lot better because it is not
Yeah,
Elias.
because it's not as cheap.
It is
Yeah.
not Elias who wins this story. It is Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
It is Bailey who somehow gets through to the authors. Like kid, grandkid, I'm not sure, to a second generation on the author's side.
So,
what do you think?
you're telling me that the grandchild managed to access someone in the author's life?
Maybe it could be. This could be against the HOA. I'm not
Uh-huh.
100% sure
I
about this.
it, I think that if we want to be loosey goosey with it, that it does turn instead of Elias being the main character or the character at the end is Bailey. Like it's a switch up.
Yes. Um, and I think this is Bailey, as a teenager, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you, but I had a period of time when I was 15 or 16 when I was extremely, and whether or not that stayed is another story, right? Where I became extremely rebellious, right? I remember sitting
Yeah.
um, uh, in a friend's room and reading pages from the anarchist cookbook because we could. Um,
I mean, it doesn't get more defiant than that. I
right,
mean, jeez Louise.
right. So, you know that, and I think there is something about that in that Bailey brings a whole different level of defiance to this family.
Yeah.
A level of defiance that Elias never had. And all of that hinges upon reading and understanding the HOA rules. I think there's a loophole in the HOA rules.
Yeah.
I think there is, in fact, okay, this has just come to me, and I love the wordplay on this so much, I have to make it. There's a grandfather clause.
I want to kill you for that. That's that's it. That's the one that is oh, oh my it's the perfect crime.
It's perfect.
I'm in pain. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna goddamn author's note real quick. That's horrendous. The Wheel of Fortune. That's pretty. I don't think I've seen that before. It says a lot about my spreads. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune urges us to remember the transient nature of all things. Nothing is forever, and we must take that into account with our planning. We may mourn happiness' tendency to stay for such short times, but it is all the more reason to savor those moments. In time, we learn to acknowledge the downtimes too. Though the buffering may be exhausting, in time, you get used to the rhythms. And I think it is kind of ticked into a clock and the seconds just go one by the other and it says well played.
Yes. Remind me, what was that major arcana?
The Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I forgot to write it down, and I was so excited by your description there that I was like, I forgot completely what the name of it was.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. And we do it again. Oh, what is the final
So,
prompt?
now we have a message
What is
from the
your
author.
author holding back? Yeah,
Um,
that was disgusting.
so you need your major arcana first for your
Yes.
message from the author.
The Empress reversed.
Interesting.
I think this is gonna be like negative feminine energy, but let's see. That's me bullshitting. All right. The Empress has a long behind description. Listen to this. This is so funny. Another interpretation of the Empress reversed: be wary of care as a means of control. The most twisted version of the Empress is one who wears a face as a mask and their persona as a weapon.
Oh, that
And
is so dangerous.
it is. And I think, like, what is your author holding back even now is how they had tried to appeal to Bailey through the camera crew or the HOA saying, we did this for you. We were trying to make space for you. Your grandfather was the last piece. And you both stubbornly stayed.
Oh, wow. Wow. Ah, that's freaking great. Wow.
That's diabolical.
Okay. So, that is so much. So now, here is the resolution. It's time to confront our author. The author has written parts of themselves into the story, whether intentionally or unintentionally or unconsciously. So we're going to look at the character spread. Right, we're going to look at what makes each character themselves. Which pieces of yourself, your friend, and your foe do you see in the author?
I think I am gonna go with Elias himself. This unchanging stubbornness, not in a negative light, but in a world where you're supposed to fall in line, consume or be consumed, and writing the story itself as an act of defiance, creating as defiance, which is more important now than ever.
I love that. I was going to go with the fool in that in ignorance and in newness, there is always a new way and another way. Right? In that creativity.
Let's go.
So I really like that part of Bailey being represented in the author. And then finally, the HOA. If you'd like to take this one, you can. I have some thoughts, but
I'll just say rules in itself, and like trying to let life balance out. It's like the cosmic way of everything. I was gonna say the being itself, like kind of setting that balance between the fool and the world. And I don't know. Justice was served at the end of the day.
Justice was served. I think that there is a willingness to do the dirty work that we see in the HOA and the author. Both would stoop to things that most folks would get bile in their throat thinking about doing. And both unflinchingly did what was necessary. In their minds, what was necessary, I should say.
Yeah.
So, now examine the scene cards. Which part of each chapter hid your author's hopes, fears, passions, regrets, beliefs, and insecurities? Oh, hid your author's hopes and fears, passions and regrets, beliefs and insecurities. Um,
See, I'm glad you took notes because I already put the cards together.
you're
I
good.
realized I should have kept them like in their spread form.
You're totally fine.
But
So, um, if it helps, I can read through the cards.
yeah.
So we start with the prologue, where
Mm-hmm.
someone takes advantage of your naivete. I'm curious about the scene cards. I think it is the scene cards that are drawn that matter, not the ones that are changed. So, Four
Yeah.
of Pentacles, a natural disaster changes your home forever. Seven of Pentacles, you are at your parents' side when they die. Now to chapter 2. Actually, let's just start with that with chapter 1. So, did any part of this chapter hide your author's hopes and fears, passions and regrets, beliefs and insecurities?
I think whichever the dead parent one, like that drasticness,
Yeah.
I kind of think it goes back to justice and like how willing they are to like change things up within that passion.
Okay.
Because that was our first the magician with that too.
Yeah, it was interesting. Um, for me, I feel like the natural disaster was a show of insecurity.
Yeah.
The story started off in a way unexpected. Wipe it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's head to chapter 2. Our first draw was the Three of Swords. A rumor spreads about your family. Our second was Five of Swords. You are startled awake by a recurring nightmare. And Four of Swords. You find yourself in possession of dangerous information. If you need time, I have thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit
Okay.
me.
I really sort of feel the startled awake by a recurring nightmare in this. I think that is sort of the author's hope for this story, right? It was supposed to be a horror mockumentary. And I think it's supposed to stick with you in that subconscious way. And so I think that was their hope for this. Was that it would be something so subtly unnerving that you wouldn't realize it was terrifying until you were unconscious.
I think that's perfect and scary on both sides.
It is. Did anything else stick out to you?
No, I think you nailed it on the head with that.
Okay.
Like,
Because I find myself drawn towards the ones that were reversed and defied as true author wishes that were like fought against, and I find some sort of illumination in those. I don't know if that's everybody, but that's what I keep getting drawn to.
yeah. Haha, drawn.
In chapter 3, we have the Ten of Cups. Someone sees through your bravado. The Queen reversed. You learn something of your foe's history that horrifies you. 8 reversed. You are abandoned after a reckless decision.
I think this was another like trying to clasp on hope, or at least like try to regain control by giving all these like dangerous situations. I really did like Was it this chapter or the last chapter that gave like the information, or was it this chapter?
They gave the information. Oh, the
That one prompt.
the bolster. Oh yeah, learn about something about your foe's history that horrifies you, right? That I
Yeah.
think is the information. Yeah. So that is in here. I see something just a touch different in this. In that I think this to me shouts out as the chapter that the author realizes that Elias and they are not so different. And you start to see the author write things that are uncomfortable for himself in here, right? There is some of that author's bravado that is seen through, right?
And we had that reverse temperance.
Absolutely. Right? You're abandoned after a reckless decision, that fear of like not making it. I think there is a little bit of like, these are the things that I would hate to see. And so that's kind of what I picked up, like very broadly from that.
But it works. These two just like blew my mind.
It really did. In chapter 4, the climax, we had you realize your goal is unattainable. A failure makes you realize your ideals are holding you back, and a confrontation ends with a confession. Okay, I have to pause here for a second. Because the way we twisted those for Elias created one story. The way they were originally written, to me, is what happened to the author a little bit.
A worm.
And we did. There's no way we pulled that off intentionally. But that's what I'm seeing right now, is we somehow fulfilled both sides of the prompts.
Wow, that's the story. That's the power of storytelling right there. That's the power of improv, BB.
Holy crap!
Oh my goodness.
Ah. I read those out loud and I went, I gotta reread those. That can't be right. That can't be right.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. I do we even answer, like, if you have thoughts on that last part, that's all I've got for that last part.
No, that's it. They gotta meet now.
Yeah, what did this story mean to your author?
I think it was just going to be a creative endeavor that kind of pushed out some frustrations they had in life, only for the frustrations to push right back. And it was cathartic and not in the way that they had intended. It was just like something to get the emotions and then to finally have somebody to kind of like challenge them, kind of shook them out of it.
So, now we are putting the Major Arcana deck aside. The author cannot use it here. We have one Defiance. You meet your author. They are no longer in control. And this part is underlined. You say your piece. You act without mercy. And I think that is the intent. But it is not the execution. I think as Elias sort of closes in on this moment with this author, and I haven't sort of figured out how they meet. I don't know exactly how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the words jump off the page and become Elias. As they pick up a letter opener and go to put a hole in the author, much like the story has put holes in them, I think a second set of words jumps off the page. And it is Bailey who holds back Elias's arm, disarming the knife, and instead cutting their pages out of the book. If you have anything to add to that, I want to leave that open for you, but I think that's all I have.
That's perfect. No words, speechless, dumbfounded. It just happens.
Absolutely. And with that, a new generation. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was not anywhere close to the story I thought we'd tell.
I thought we were gonna get silly.
I did too.
It's that clip of Jake from Adventure Time. I started using my imagination. Then everything got intense.
That's, yeah, basically.
Oh.
Oh, wow. That was wild. That was so much fun. This game would be a mind breaker to play solo for me.
Yeah, that I can't imagine.
It is for all of you writer types out there. I think this is a really cool game if you can wrap your mind around the solo aspect of it. I am a social game player, which is part of why I have this show. I get to play games with cool folks like Vin, and we get to tell great stories together, and that's my favorite part of everything we do here. And so I'm a sucker for the duet versions of just about any of these types of games. Blinking Birch Games, thank you for creating this. It was so freaking cool. If you enjoyed this game, y'all, go over to their website and go buy it. Just go support them. They're cool.
Yeah, you got it now.
Yeah.
You're obligated. Pew 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 pew. Goodbye this
you
game.
cannot defy your own author's insistence that you buy this. So you're done there. That's what the prompt said. My hands are tied.
Yeah. We're out of defiances now and reversals, so you just kind of do it.
You just gotta do it. That was absolutely so much fun, Finn. Where can the folks find you? Just to remind them real quick.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Again, that is VinVoxVA, majority of the socials, except Blue Sky. That is vinvox.com. Vinvox.com is also my website. I am a professional voice actor, actual play performer. And who else? A third thing, you'll see that on the website, which has my demo reels, my resume, my studio specs, contact either like through my management agents or like directly. That's an option. If you want me for your projects, give me money, hire me. I would enjoy that very much.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, I can vouch for that. Go hire Vin, support, and watch them play more games. and
Yeah.
any which way, right? If you don't have the money to hire Vin, you can always support on social media and things like that. This has been so much fun. I am Tony. You can find me mostly on Blue Sky these days on Tony Will or at Tony Will Edit, and here on the Roll for Respawn channel, and mostly on this show every other Saturday, telling crazy stories that I never could have imagined with cool folks. So go ahead and check out our links below if you're interested in learning more about me. With that being said, I think it is time for us to get out of here. It is time for us to find our way to the end of this story. I do have to do one last thing, though, because there's a person quietly behind the scenes of this show. Blood, my government-issued introvert, who helps make everything run and is making sure this stream gets out to all of you folks out there right now. And I just always have to give a big heartfelt thank you to Blood. I could not do this show without Blood. I could not. So thank you. With that being said, this has been an episode of One Shot Wonderarium. Remember, it is a wild, wide Wonderarium out there. Take a friend. Bye-bye.